Hi everyone and welcome to my channel today. It's Melinda here with you and I have another share for Anna's Craft Cupboard and I've created these 4 cards. So next up I'm going to show you a real quick photo of another card I created and give you a little bit of a story. When I first received my design team package, obviously I got these awesome goodies and I hadn't used any of them before, so I wanted to have a bit of a play and see how they work together and see how they work separately. You know, how much water to add and all that kind of fun stuff. So I created the little card I showed you, and I was inspired by that to make some more cards. So what I've got here is some watercolor paper. I have not done anything to this paper, it is just watercolor paper. I have sprinkled some of the Colorburst in Rogue straight onto the background, and some of the Lindy's Magical Shaker in Guten Tag Teal. I can't remember if I just mentioned, but I sprayed the page. No, I didn't spray the page with water. So I've sprinkled all that colour on and then I've just activated it with water. You can see I'm using my heat tool to move the water around and get the colours to dry off and mix. Now, Bryony obviously understands the colour wheel. The trick to this, to not getting mud, is making sure that you pick colours that sit next to each other on the colour wheel. So pink is just red with more white added, and blue. So red and blue sit next to each other on the colour wheel, and for those of you that don't know, red and blue make purple. So you can see I've got shades of purple through these cards as well. Some of you may be amazed that I even was brave enough to mix my pink and blue together knowing I'd get purple. But yeah, that's my biggest tip. If you want to have a play with something like this, make sure you pick colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel and not opposite each other. So you wouldn't pick red and green because you would get mud when they mixed. So all I did was sprinkled the colour on, added water, moved the page around, used my heat tool, and I just kept going until I was happy with the finished design. I have then cut my page in, after it was all dried, I cut my page into 4 because I know I can get 4 card fronts from that one paper. And I am just playing with the ephemera, and the piece on the top left card is from the cut apart sheet from the Photoplay Paper Eurogem collection. And yeah, you can see I'm just pulling bits and pieces, having a bit of a play, not really sure exactly what I wanted the sentiments to read or anything, so just trying things out, seeing how they go. One of my favourite things about this ephemera pack is those gems. They are so awesome. I love them. So I had to use them on cards, and then that way I wasn't covering them up very much and they could shine like the gems they are. Okay, so yeah, just playing with layers here, checking how I want to make this work. Decided I needed to add some more to my background. I'm just grabbing a piece of scrap white paper and popping my card fronts onto that. Coming in firstly with some black. This is Colour Artist ink by Colour Blast in Soot. Just using a paintbrush, and you can see just sprinkling the colour on. This is an awesome way to add black splatters if you're looking for something. It's not shimmery, it doesn't dry weird, and it's not watered down gesso. Gold Colour Shine, again, paintbrush, sprinkles. I did toy with the idea of adding some pink splatters, but I felt that the cards were pink enough already, so I do go with the Lindy's Magical. I just sprinkle a little bit onto my desk, activate with some water, and grab my paintbrush again and sprinkle. This colour is absolutely beautiful. It's really teal, and then depending what you put it with, it goes green. I love it. And then when you activate it, you'll see, it's hard to catch it on camera, but you'll see all different colours appear as well, which is really cool. So I'm going to put that aside to dry, and then I'm going to ink all of my edges. I'm just using a Tim Holtz ink blending tool. These things are awesome. The round ones I find easier to work with than the rectangle one. It's smaller, and with the round shape I just find that it's easier to get into smaller spaces. Now, bearing in mind, you can see that I'm going into some of those smaller spaces, but I'm not being really particular about making sure I cover every single millimeter of space. It falls into the too hard, who has time for that basket a lot of the time. So I do what I can, and done is good enough. I'm not after perfect. I'm going to add some 3D foam to well, only to some of my pieces actually. I'm going to stick some flat, and then I'm going to use a combination of my tiny little foam dots and my bigger foam dots. Here are my card fronts all dried. You can kind of see some of the shimmer as I move it through the light. It's so pretty. These cards are they're simple, they're fun, they're easy, they're effective. So I decided I was going to ink the edges of all of my card fronts as well, and then I went, oops, you haven't cut them down yet. So if you are new to card making or anything like that, or you're just not sure, I'm cutting these down so that they are a tiny bit smaller than an A6 card. A6 is a quarter of an A4, if you weren't sure of that. I know it's taken me a long time to get my head around that. But basically, when you cut an A4 cardstock in half, either way, you'll get a card, and then if you stick these on top, you'll have a border all the way around the edge of the card. So I've cut these down to 10 centimeters by 14.3. The millimeter centimeter measurements of a card front is 14.8 centimeters by 10.5 if you're not sure. So like I said, I didn't want to cover up too much of the work that I'd done, so I'm using a little bit of thread. I've got a combination of black and gold. This card that I'm working on right now has got both black and gold, I think. The first one had just black. This one has none. I have sped this up 6 times, I think. I don't know what I've done. I'm pretty sure though, oh yeah, look, there you go. This one has plain, this one has just gold. There you go. And I saved you from watching me cut up all my card fronts, but basically I've used 2 sheets of A4 cardstock. I've cut them in half. One I've cut in half along the long edge, and one I've cut in half along the short edge. So I've got cards that open both ways. That's all my cards today. If you would like any more information, please head over to the Anna's Craft Cupboard blog, where you will find close-up photos, links to all the products, all that fun stuff. If you have any questions, please leave them below and I will get back to you when I can. I have had so much fun with this collection from Anna's Craft Cupboard, and I am so excited to be on the team. Thank you ever so much again for having me as part of your little family. I hope you've enjoyed, and like I said, if you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. Oh, one last thing, a big welcome to any new subscribers, and as always, a big thank you to my faithful followers. I hope you've had a fantastic day. I hope I've inspired you to play with some product, and I will be back again soon. Have a great day.